This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Live from the bell tower, taking a stand for your rights, your liberties, and all the bullshit in between. You're listening to Break the Bell Podcast.
Good evening, happy Monday night, and welcome to the Break the Bell Podcast, live every Monday night.
Hello, beautiful bell breakers.
It's good to be here, and I'm glad the power is on.
It's amazing to be here.
It does.
Yes.
I feel like I got my technical glitches out of the way before the show. I'm just going to say that right now because the power went out like 10 minutes ago. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Fortunately, I run everything on a laptop, which has a battery in it. Otherwise, I would have probably been late getting this all set back up. Because as soon as I get it all set up, the power went out. And I was like, shit. And then I looked, I was like...
house-wide power outage?
Yeah,
or?
everything
Oh,
in the
really?
house went out for like 2 seconds was all. But it was enough to shut everything off in here.
Right.
And I looked and I was like, thank you, batteries. Thank God for the batteries that supply power sometimes.
Sometimes modern technology, right?
Yes, exactly. So, how's everybody doing? It is a Monday night, and we are back to invade your beautiful ear holes with another great show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency, which we don't ever talk about because I don't understand
I don't
it.
know much
I don't
about
know
it,
anything.
yes. I wish I did. I would invest.
Yeah, and then you'd probably lose all your
That's
money
true,
in some
like this
fucking
guy,
Ponzi
right?
scheme. Yeah. So we're talking specifically about FTX and its implosion, its bankruptcy, its the possibility of potential like mass money laundering scheme,
Yes.
just
Massive fraud.
all kinds of shit
There's
going
so
on
many
with
rabbit
this.
holes with this. I
Right.
mean, it's like...
And it's hard to decipher what's true and
Yeah.
what's just like politically motivated because obviously a lot of it's politically motivated when they're releasing when the Gateway pundit comes out saying that it's a money laundering scheme for the Democrats and it's like is it for the Democrats or is it people in general?
Right.
But we still got to talk about all those things because that's what we do on the show is we talk
Absolutely.
about the ridiculous
I mean,
shit like
but
that.
there's so many threads that connect different things in this.
Right.
And you literally could have that meme of the guy with the board with all the
Yes.
going like this. I mean, because that's when you shared an article with me, and I mean, just looking at all the connections this kid has, it's like holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really even heard of this guy too much.
Yeah.
Again, I don't dig into cryptocurrency. So when this popped up, hey, this mega platform went bankrupt and people lost millions, it's like, okay, I mean, you're investing in fake money. What do you expect? And then I got to thinking, well, it's all fake money. All money's fake money. So, but still, I've kind of been sitting by waiting for like the collapse of certain cryptocurrencies or crypto platforms just because of how they're set up. There is no regulation and shit, which I'm perfectly fine with the lack of regulation, but it leaves the door wide open to massive failure.
And when I first saw this article, or this thing pop up, my thought it was like teenage billionaire loses fortune in crypto. Yeah. And my first thought was like, well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and that's all I thought about.
More
it.
of teenage billionaire loses lots of people's billions in crypto, not his own billions. So he probably made out like a bandit. If some of these stories are true, he made out like a fucking bandit.
Yeah.
But again, I back to what I was saying about like it not being regulated, so it potentially could ultimately fail. Well, look at the shit. The banks that are heavily regulated and see how hard they ultimately fail. So I guess it doesn't really fucking matter.
And usually when something like this happens, it's always an excuse to regulate more.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of what I see coming.
Yeah, me
because
too.
this guy wasn't like your libertarian like go against the man type crypto guy.
Right.
No, he was lobbying for regulations that benefited his platform over like smaller platforms and shit. He was like pushing for more regulations. He was like, he's in the game. He's playing cryptocurrency, but he's in the game. So
he's in bed with everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna get more into that here in a few minutes. First, we got to get in through this pre-show, as we always do. We got to mention our coffee fix of freedom. That is Run Your Mouth Coffee. They support your free speech, your right to run your mouth, like on a show such as our own, without fear of getting deplatformed, ostracized from humanity as we know it. Company that makes good coffee, delivers it straight to your door, and they support free speech. It doesn't get much better than that.
Does not.
We always say support companies that support you. Run Your Mouth Coffee is one of those companies, and they make really good fucking coffee. Go to rymcoffee.com. Tell them we sent you. By using the promo code BreakTheBell, you'll get 10% off your purchase plus free shipping. And who doesn't like deals like that? That's just America in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
rymcoffee.com. And again, you can get your coffee without ever having to put on pants, which I guess you could go to Starbucks without putting on pants, but you get
they
a
frown
few,
on that.
Yeah,
they tend to frown on that.
You get a few weird looks.
I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, obviously. You don't have to wear pants to get your coffee. Go to rymcoffee.com. That is all. Make sure you check us out all over social media. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the handle Break the Bell Pod. Follow us, share it, like it, subscribe, all the things we tell you to do every week so we can expand our reach further and further and reach out and influence more people and probably just annoy the shit out of them like we do you.
That we like to do that, and I think you enjoy it too.
Yeah, we annoy ourselves, so we might as well annoy you too.
Share the love.
You can check out our merch at our merch store, which is at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. You can get access to our I Won't Eat Your Bug shirt, your We Are Not Your Pawn shirt. We have the Is This Shirt Even Real shirt. I need to come up with some. It's been a while since I've come up with a new design. You can find links to all our social media and our store at breakthebellpod.com. It's a nice one-stop shop for all things Break the Bell related.
Perfect for Christmas right around the corner.
Yeah, there you go. Christmas coming up. Why not celebrate by getting your loved one a I Will Not Eat Your Bugs t-shirt, and then they'll ask, what the hell is this about? And then that opens the door up to a really uncomfortable conversation. Perfect. Just in time for Christmas. I know this is the kind of conversations we all like to have around the holiday
families,
table. Yeah.
Yes, this is perfect.
Yeah, so go to breakthebellpod.com to find links to that, or you can find our merch store at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Is that it? Is there anything else? Am I missing anything?
I think that's it.
All right. We are going to get into the show, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the mass failure of FTX, the third largest crypto platform in the universe, and all the stuff that goes along with that, with the rumors of, like we said, money laundering, with the potential, like the supposed hacking the day that they filed for bankruptcy and lost billions of dollars. Just coincidentally happened that day.
That's convenient.
Had nothing to do with the guy. The guy didn't like steal money from everybody. Nothing like that.
Right?
But
it's the equivalent of the guy who burns down his shop because he can't afford it anymore.
Yes. Major insurance scheme. We're going to talk about all that stuff when we come back, but sit tight through this intro video, and we'll be right back.
What did you say?
You talking to me?
What the heck are you talking about?
What did you say?
What did you say?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What are you saying?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Well, maybe he was talking to me.
What did you say?
Talk to me.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Talk to me, baby.
What did you just say?
What did you say?
You listening to me? Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
And we are back.
Beautiful.
Did you miss us? I missed us. Did you miss us?
I did. I missed
us too.
Not that much.
So again, we haven't taken a dive into anything crypto related ever because we're not experts.
No.
We're not investment experts by any stretch. I think the closest thing we've gotten to any sort of investment episode was when we talked about the GameStop.
Oh, sure. Well,
Scam
we had
back.
Remzo on, and Remzo was talking about how he had gotten into some investments.
Oh, yeah. Remzo always talks about smart things that we
Yes.
don't know anything about. But we've never really talked crypto because we're crypto stupid.
Yes.
I think it's like a generation, like a couple years younger than me.
Right.
So I remember when Bitcoin was first a thing, kids, I called them kids, they were probably like 5 years younger than me. We're like, oh, you got to get in on this and shit. And this was like the early days. So that guy's probably a millionaire now if he stuck it out. But, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is stupid.
Well, and I mean, it's becoming a really big thing because one of the things I've been doing alarm systems for data mining now. People mining for crypto.
Yeah.
And so there's like these farms out there that are kind of like just these little huts filled with hard drives and fans.
Yeah,
And
it probably
that's all
gets
they
really
do.
fucking hot in there,
Oh,
doesn't
heck
it?
yeah.
Yeah, they probably have temperature gauges in there,
yeah.
sensors in there, I
Yeah.
imagine. So the major attraction, from what I've heard, from what the kids tell me these days, the major attraction of cryptocurrency is it's this decentralized banking money system where your money's not sitting in one spot or in one system. It's like blockchain, so it's like little bits and pieces all over the place. So if one was to break down, you've got pieces like spread all throughout the interwebs that kind of back it up, and there's redundancy and there's all this crazy shit and there's nobody controlling it either.
Right. And it can't be tracked.
In recent years, trading platforms have popped up like Coinbase. I looked into Coinbase, and then this FTX is a big one. FTX is, like I said, the third largest trading platform.
Did you ever look at FTX, be like, hey, I might invest in that?
I didn't.
okay.
I hadn't dug too much, and I just looked at the first one that popped up on my phone, I think, which was Coinbase. And I'm guessing this is similar to that, but it's basically a platform where you can trade all these different currencies. You can put money in, and you can trade currencies in and out through this one site. The problem is this one site is a centralized site.
Right.
Which kind of
defeats the
purpose of investing in cryptocurrencies because your money now that is supposed to be on decentralized currency is centralized on a platform. It's being held in a wallet that is held by that company. So you have these things called crypto wallets. It's basically like a digital wallet. It's like I've got like $8,000 in Bitcoin. I've got $2,000 in Ethereum. I've got I know some of the words. I don't know what any of it means.
Okay.
I know words.
Yeah.
But that platform is where that wallet is. So if somebody were to say like hack that platform, they could get access to all your currency that's supposedly decentralized because you have it held in one spot.
You have it centralized.
I mean, it's all nice and well and convenient for you,
right?
But again, it defeats the whole fucking purpose,
right?
Because something like, I don't know, maybe like the downfall of a major platform could really, really hurt you a little bit financially if you have a lot of money tied up in cryptocurrencies in your, for example, FTX crypto wallet.
Right.
So, unfortunately, that happened, and so what you thought was secure because you're investing in crypto, that all goes out the window because you just lose everything because you have everything tied up in a centralized platform like FTX.
Yes.
FTX, at the very least, in my opinion, this whole thing, this whole collapse of FTX, in the very least was it was a bunch of stupid kids who had no business being responsible for hundreds of thousands of people's millions and billions of dollars. Like, I'm talking stupid kids. I mean, they're smart, like MIT students, but like stupid, like business-wise.
Right. Yeah. Which is usually how it works, right?
We're gonna get into how they set up the top of their business, and it's just like fucking nuts. How it's like a bunch of friends were just like, oh, you're CEO and I'm CFO and you can run this company and you can run that and we're all buddies, and they were like literally living in a penthouse together. It was like there's rumors, and we'll get into it more, that they're all like basically like fuck buddies in this penthouse, but they are running like multiple billion-dollar businesses and didn't see anyhow that this would like fail majorly.
Right. Well, and I had seen, I mean, there were several celebrities and sports stars and stuff that have lost their ass in this.
Let's see, Tom Brady and
Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Brady and his wife were
Giselle.
invested.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they got a divorce.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
maybe they saw it coming, and she's like, no, you got to pull the money out. This is going down. And he's like, I got millions invested in this, and she dipped out, took her money, and he like lost his ass. Steph Curry was a sponsor for FTX. The Miami Heat's stadium was the FTX stadium.
I've seen that meme where it said that,
nope,
Okay,
don't,
sorry.
nope,
all right,
we'll
all
get
right.
there.
I won't jump the gun.
Don't jump the shark because we got to save that.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people were big into this FTX platform before its ultimate demise last week, where, like I said, at one point they go bankruptcy, and at one end I say, hey, it's dumb kids that don't know how to do business, and it worked for a while, and then it got bigger than their britches and failed. On the other hand, at the worst, it's this major fucking money laundering scheme that reaches from political party campaign donations to the war in Ukraine to like the pandemic response and shit like that. And it's just like the more you look, and a lot of these things, it's a lot of the topics we do where I like to deep dive into the weird rumors, you gotta dig for the weird rumors. This one is just like you type FTX and they're just all over the fucking place. It's just like, what the hell was this thing?
Right.
And part of me wants to think that they're just making this bigger than it is, but another part of me is like, there's just a lot of weird shit out there, so can it all be wrong?
Right. And doesn't it seem to be the way with things like this, where this fucking nobody who seems to have like absolutely nothing going for him hits it big, right? I mean, when you look at Epstein, right. You know, he was just like a fucking failed math teacher.
But
right?
connections
exactly.
mean everything.
It's all about connections.
Yep, and same with like Zuckerberg. I mean, he wasn't failed or anything, but he wasn't a known figure. He just all of a sudden exploded.
He hit the jackpot.
Yeah. And I mean, we did a couple episodes about the tech industry and how their like CIA starts and stuff like that, and it makes you wonder, like, this guy, like, how did this guy get his start? So go back and check out that episode after you listen to this, because we kind of talked a lot about. Actually, there's a couple episodes we talked about the tech industry and their like foundations in like the CIA and shit, and we had talked about like billionaires and their philanthropy, because this guy was a huge philanthropist too.
Yeah,
like he had his own the FTX Foundation. It's just like, of course he did. Of course he did.
Of course.
And we talked about in that episode how it's usually like some kind of front for money laundering. So a lot of dots being connected with
it
this
always
one.
seems like these guys make a deal with the devil and just hit a huge.
I feel like to become billionaire status this day and age, you have to make a deal with the devil. Like you can work your ass off and become a multimillionaire. People do it all the time, but to hit the inner circle of billionaire status, you have to make certain shady deals with the devil that you just sell your soul and everything with it. So, and I feel that's probably what this guy did. So again, he was a part of the system. He wasn't against the grain crypto guy, like, oh, I'm gonna fight against big banks and fight against the man and shit. No, he was part of the man.
Yeah.
So, last week, like I said, they're the third largest crypto platform.
Right.
Last week, filed for bankruptcy. Just major plummet. Just tanked. I mean, they were just like sky high and just tanked hard. So again, we are stupid in all these things crypto related. So I found an article titled "The Crypto Ignorant Person's Guide to What's Going On with the FTX" and founder Sam Bankman-Fried or Fried.
Perfect.
Is it Fried?
I'm gonna go Fried.
I think Fried.
I mean, Fried. He's probably fried now.
He's fried now, but I'm going Fried.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the crypto ignorant person's guide to this story. So it drew my attention really fast. So let's get right into this one. This is from BuzzFeed. It says, Here's a rundown of everything you need to know about FTX's colossal implosion. It says, last week investors rushed to withdraw their funds from FTX, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, fearing that it was about to collapse. The company's owner, Sam Bankman-Fried, first of all, if you have the last name Bankman, you have to go into some kind of financing.
Yeah.
Or you think that's his real legit name?
Yeah, right.
If not,
I think it. I mean, it's like, the weatherman whose name's like Stormy Daniels.
Yeah,
or
but you know
something
that's
like that, right?
Stormy Daniels was a porn star.
It's different kind of rain.
Wrong field. Yes, but yeah, I get what you're saying. But I think they all changed the name. Like I had a weather forecaster locally when I grew up named Neil Castor. It's like your name's really Castor and you're a weather forecaster. Yeah. No, I think they changed the names. But
we had a kid in our youth when I was running youth. His name was Storm, and I always joke that he was destined to become a weather person.
Did he? Did he become a weather person?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So the company's owner, Sam Bankman-Fried, claimed that there was no risk to the fund. Okay, so let me stop there. If somebody that is holding a boatload of your cash, your hard-earned money, in this made-up currency, first of all, that's already really volatile, and he says there's no risk to what's happening, you should immediately be skeptical. Because anybody that's in any sort of investment that tells you, oh, there's no risk here, that's like the military recruiters that are just like promising you the world. Right. It's like, oh, no, you're not going to go fight. Yeah. You're going to
Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, you're going to be stationed stateside. Yeah. You're going to get to...
Maybe you can get to Hawaii or California, do some surfing.
Yeah.
Right?
So if an investor ever tells you zero risk at this, you got to instantly know that there's plenty of risk, and they're not telling... Yeah, they're completely full of shit. So he said early last week, no risk to the fund, because there was some rumors going out there. People are starting to pull money out. And he's like, oh, no, everything's fine. Then Friday hits, and they file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
So who's the idiot who is like, oh, okay, well, I guess then I'll leave my money in there, right?
Yeah. It's like, don't worry about it. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Remember when I said keep your money in? Pull now.
It's like when you know your company is like hitting some heat, and the boss comes out and said, this has happened to me before. Boss comes out and says, don't worry, we don't expect any layoffs in the future. 2 days later, every fucking time, 2 days later, the boss comes out and mass layoffs. It's like, dude, they're just trying to get you to calm down a little, make this thing maybe tank a little slower than just free fall. Yeah. Beto is here, as well as sexyfine.biz. I need to figure out how to block sexyfine. Beto says cryptocurrencies have no real purpose. It's not money. Well, neither is fiat cash either. It's not real money either. That's why I don't bash too hard on crypto, because it's not much more real or less real than cash.
American dollars.
Their value solely depends on the trust people have in them, sort of like the American dollars. When the trust vanishes, their values go to zero. I feel like we're talking about American dollars. Right. The money was created out of nothing, American dollars, via FTT tokens, then sold off to victims of the scam. Yes, just like banks. So he did point out just like banks at the end. Yes. No money unless it's cold hard gold or something like that. Yeah. No money has any value except the trust that people have in it. Because you see the same thing with American dollar. People start losing trust in American dollar. What happens to it? It starts to tank.
And you see that, right?
So this goes on to say, it has since been reported that at least $1 billion of customer money has gone missing, and there were rumors that Bankman-Fried had fled to South America, which he denied, which we'll get into that stuff a little bit too. But I just want to talk mostly about the incident. So it gets into what is FTX. It was established in 2019. FTX was one of the world's fastest growing cryptocurrency exchanges. Customers could buy and sell a range of digital currencies using its online service. Throughout the early stages of the pandemic, when crypto soared in value, FTX's revenue grew 1,000%, and the company has a reputation for spending. It bought naming rights to the Miami Heat's arena for $135 million. It was like a 2-decade long naming. It was like 20 years or 10 or 20, I can't remember, for $135 million. in June of 21 and invested billions of dollars in everything from crypto mining firms to artificial intelligence research. At one point, it considered buying U.S. megabank J.P. Morgan Chase.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this guy is very motivated.
Yeah.
He has high aspirations for life. They talk about a driven guy, I guess.
Right.
But I mean, another one of those tech guys that invests in all things, puts money in all, and not just solely in his crypto, which most of it was in his crypto.
Yeah.
But he's getting into AI, which probably is for mining purposes and stuff too. But
exactly.
But yeah, just throwing his money all over the place. FTX pushed for digital currencies to go mainstream. So I mean, they were kind of like underground type currency thing, and this company was one that pushed them more mainstream by getting, like I said, like you said, the sponsorships with athletes and stuff like that to get it to be a more mainstream thing. So it says it gave Tom Brady and Gisele Bundchen $20 million in shares of FTX and crypto to star together in an ad campaign for the company.
Oh, wow.
Their stake in FTX is now effectively worthless.
Wow.
NBA legend Steph Curry also became an ambassador for the company in return for stock. Larry David was paid to star in a Super Bowl commercial for FTX. At the time, the ad was quite amusing. I'm not going to try to watch it because videos are not working for us. While the crypto industry has a reputation for bad behavior and scams, FTX held itself up as one of the grown-ups. Clearly, we see that was all fake. It lobbied for more effective government regulation of crypto. That's how you should know that this guy is not pro-crypto, if he's lobbying for government regulation of crypto.
Yeah.
He also offered to bail out other firms when they went bust. It kind of sounds like fucking Amazon and Walmart and other mega corporations that during the pandemic, it's like, your mom and pop shop's going broke. That's fine. We'll give you money for it. We'll buy up like 10 cents to the dollar what it's worth. And just effectively running everybody else out of business. And that's probably, he's bailing them out, but it's probably running them out of business, like buying them out.
Right.
So it talks about who owns it. The company was founded in 2019, so you're talking 3 years. Yeah. It went from the bottom to the top to the bottom.
Yeah, right.
Founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, better known as SBF. He goes by his initials.
SBF?
Yes, he goes by SBF.
That's
and former Google staffer Gary Yang. So we got a Google guy.
Okay.
Go back to again our tech our tech CIA backed episode, and we talked a lot about Google in that one. So we got a Google guy. Bankman-Fried was a CEO, or who was CEO, is the 30-year-old son of 2 Stanford law professors. He graduated from MIT with a physics degree and spent time as a trader before starting up FTX. So he came from prominence to Stanford law professors. Yeah, the guy had money. It's not like he fought tooth and nail, pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
Right.
No, I'm sure
it was given to him. Yeah.
Soon became one of the richest men in crypto, at one point worth some $26.5 billion. Jeez. Known for his tousled hair and cargo shorts, he courted the press and was hailed as crypto's golden boy. He defied typical CEO behavior, playing League of Legends during business calls and allegedly living in a polyamorous group with 10 colleagues in the Bahamas. So it's just not your typical business guy. Yeah. Which is typical, like what you see in the tech world.
Right, or how they're portrayed in movies nowadays. I mean, usually, the head of the tech firm seems like it's this type of guy,
Yeah. So it also says he was known as an adherent of the effective altruism movement, which asks adherents to choose their careers and actions best advance humanity and set up a foundation to give his wealth away. He was also a major Democrat donor, promising to give away $1 billion in the 2022 midterms, though he later walked back that commitment. So let me see. I have a couple other things. I'm going to kind of jump back and forth on this because if it'll load. This is the FTX Foundation's website. It's still up, surprisingly.
That is
because I know some of their companies' websites just disappeared. But the FTX Foundation website is still here. It says about the FTX Foundation. The foundation is a philanthropic collective that aims to find and support the most effective solutions to the world's most pressing problems. One of those vague definitions of we spend money on good things.
Right, yeah.
Then don't look at us because we do good things.
Yeah, we try to save the world.
We make grants and investments to improve global health, prevent pandemics, reduce animal suffering, protect the climate, and improve humanity's prospects of long-term survival and flourishing. Who does that remind you of?
Bill Gates.
Mr. Bill Gates, yes. So that's his foundation. Obviously, no money laundering involved there.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
not at all. Not at all.
We got enough
It's too
example.
pure.
Yeah,
It's
obviously,
too pure.
Obviously, yeah. Don't go back and listen to our philanthropic money laundering episode that we did a couple weeks ago because you might have your doubts in this guy. Yeah, when some tech billionaire like this, just like, you know what, I just want to save the world and throw all my money at the world. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah. No, you don't.
While FTX leaders were Americans, including co-CEO and Republican donor Ryan Salame, the company was based in the Bahamas, obviously. A well-known tax haven, the island country has lighter financial regulations, meaning FTX was able to do trades and sell products to clients it couldn't do in the U.S. Talks about what went wrong. I don't know. They ran out of fucking money.
Yeah. A little overspending.
How do you run out? All right, so it's not like these cryptocurrencies went bust and people lost their asses in them as most people who trade in cryptocurrency do. That's not what happened. How do you lose if your platform is, hey, we're just a place for you to come and trade your money around in these currencies?
Right.
How do you lose the customers? How do you run out of the customers' money?
Right.
Because you're not effectively spending the customer's money, except the fees that you're taking off the top. Supposedly. That's what you do.
Supposedly.
Did you hear how he lost their money?
I did not, but I have suspicions.
It says, in addition to FTX, Bankman-Fried owned a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research. The two businesses are supposed to be separate. This is especially important because FTX managed funds belonging to customers. However, November 2nd, crypto news site CoinDesk reported that Alameda held billions of dollars of a cryptocurrency created by FTX. So the majority of the assets in this hedge fund was this made-up currency that FTX themselves, the owner of Alameda, had made up and was propping up this hedge fund with.
Yeah.
So where do you think they were getting the money to make up this fake
From their
phone?
customers.
Yeah, so they're taking money that their customers are holding in their wallets. They're transferring it over to this hedge fund and basically placing bets on the markets with the customers' cash in their wallets.
Yep. And
that's like our bank, which they probably do, like going out and buying lottery tickets with your money. It's just like, Bill just transferred $1,200 in this week. I'm going to go buy 1,200 lottery tickets, and I mean, if I win, he makes. I'll give him a little.
But
extra.
Essentially, I mean, that's what happened in the 2008.
Well, they
housing
compared
crash.
that to this.
Okay, good.
At some point, it might have been up here. I might have passed it, but
I mean, that's basically what happened to Fannie and Freddie Mae, is that they were doing predatory loans and they were taking the money and they were investing it in these risky investments, and they ended up losing their ass.
Yeah, because it says the FTX implosion is called crypto's Lehman Brothers moment, a reference to the investment bank collapse that was set off by the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. So, yeah, you're right on point there. So, yeah, this guy is taking money out of people's wallets and investing it into the markets, in the crypto markets. And those companies are not supposed to be connected, even though they're both owned by him. Yeah,
and I'm sure if his customers knew his business practices, they would never have invested. I mean...
No?
Right? And be like, hey, no, there's no risk. We're just going to put it into my hedge fund company. We're going to double your money.
If the people wanted their money invested in a hedge fund, they would have put their money in a hedge fund rather than in a crypto wallet. I mean, they're already taking a risk investing it in the crypto. But then he's taking their money and investing it harder into a hedge fund.
So what's the odds this guy is going to come out and be like, see, and this is why you need regulation?
That's probably a big part of this is, hey, we need a guy to be the shining example of why we need to regulate cryptocurrency. It says Bankman-Fried initially denied the report, saying in since deleted tweets that FTX is fine and was the victim of rumors spread by a competitor. Nevertheless, clients rushed to remove their funds from FTX. So November 2nd hits. CoinDesk says, hey, he's investing your money in his side project over here, this hedge fund. So people are like, oh my gosh, the company is having issues. If they're having to take our money to prop them up, there's clearly issues. So they start pulling their money out, and he's like, guys, everything's fine. That's all a lie.
There's no risk.
Yeah, that's just a rumor spread by a competitor. Well, people are like, no, we're going to pull out even harder.
Yeah.
Then it ultimately collapsed into bankruptcy last week. So that's where we're sitting.
Okay.
So it says the very next day, Bankman-Fried announced the company is suffering from a liquidity crisis, meaning people were asking for more money than FTX had available. And this is the problem I have with banks as well. It's like I go to put money in the bank. If I want to pull all my money out of the bank, I don't understand. Maybe I'm just stupid with like economics and stuff. I understand that it's not all held there, but for a banking system to go into ultimate crisis because they only hold like 10% of cash on hand.
Yeah.
But in a couple days, within a few days, they should be able to get you your money. But that leads to major catastrophic.
Well, it's like the old, It's a Wonderful Life, right? Remember when they did the run on the banks? And they went to the savings and loan, and he's like, hey, look, we don't have your money here. It's in Joe's house, and it's in Debbie's house. And, if you give us some time, we can get the money for you. And they're like, no, we want it now.
But the thing is, this isn't like that. This is, first of all, it's just ones and zeros that are turned from dollar ones and zeros into crypto ones and zeros. There should be no reason why you can't transfer those ones and zeros back into, because it's not like it's hard cash or anything.
No,
there should be, that money should just still be ones and zeros in that spot.
Unless they've lost their ass on it.
Unless they transfer those ones and zeros into their hedge fund and lost it. Yes.
Exactly.
It talks about if FTX could have been saved because initially when they started going bankrupt, the number one platform, which was what's the name of it? I can't find it. Oh, Binance. Binance was the number one crypto trading platform. They offered to buy FTX to kind of bail out all the customers and shit. Well, then he came out and he's just like, no, because he saw all the mishandling of customer funds and shit, and he's like, no, it's not going to work. It's not. I'm not going to pay off all your customers that you lost all their money on. So this does not work for me. So he pulled out.
Binance said no, or FTX said no?
No, Binance said, hey, we're gonna purchase this. And then FTX is like, don't worry, guys, help is on the way. And then Binance started looking into everything, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that. No, that's not for us. So this was SBF's response on Twitter. Number one, I'm sorry. The biggest thing. I fucked up and I should have done better. I mean,
is that something you want to hear from somebody that you have millions of dollars invested?
Right. It's like, guys, I'm sorry. I fucked up. It's on me, guys. My bad. My bad. It's like, well, obviously you fucked up.
Right.
But that still doesn't get my money back.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I appreciate you taking responsibility.
Yes.
But I still lost my ass.
Yeah. So gambling with clients' money. That's how this all started.
Yes.
What do you think of that? I mean,
it sounds like, I know that the Fannie Mae thing and all that shit, but it reminds me of James Bond. Okay, Casino Royale, you got the bad guy who takes terrorist money and he's supposed to invest it and hold on to it, and instead he gambles with it, right? He is going to blow up a plane, and so he gambles on the stock market that this plane's going to fail. And then when James Bond saves the plane from blowing up, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Right? And so, I mean, that's what happens. But when you get people in this where they feel like everything they touch is magic, right? And they're like, oh, no, I can double this, or I can move these numbers around, and that's no problem at all. Eventually, you can only move things around so much.
Right.
Right? And
yeah.
Even with ones and zeros, you can only move it around so much before you get yourself in a corner.
Yeah, like this guy did.
And especially when with social media, when the word gets out, right, you can't move it around fast enough.
So this freaking Alameda, I've got a little bit about it because, like I said, it was worth $14.6 billion in assets,
Wow.
this Alameda.
So he started this company as well.
Yes.
Okay.
As well as many more companies. That's something else we'll talk about.
Okay.
So it talks about how the majority of his balance sheet is FTX, or FTT, which is his made-up token. Now, that seems to be like a conflict of interest maybe because when you're propping up solely with your own made-up currency, I could see if it was propped up with another made-up currency that has value based on its own worth, not, hey, our company obviously is valuable because it's propped up with this made-up currency that I made up and I make up the value.
Right.
Does that not seem like slightly a conflict of interest
a little
there?
bit, yes. I would find that hard to trust.
Says the financials make concrete what industry watchers already suspect. Alameda is big. As of June 30th, the company assets amounted to $14.6 billion. Its single biggest asset at $3.6 billion is unlocked FTT, the third largest entry on the asset side of the accounting ledger, a $2.16 billion pile of FTT collateral. It says there are more FTX tokens among its $8 billion of liabilities. 292 million locked FTTs are on its liability side of a sheet. So the majority of its balance sheet is this made-up token of its own. It says owners of FTT tokens get discounts, blah, blah, blah. It talks about FTT a little bit. I don't really fucking care. But basically it says this, basically calling this a severe conflict of interest. It says there were about 197 million FTT tokens worth $5.1 billion in circulation, according to FTX's website. I don't know. It just seems like a major laundering scheme.
Yeah.
To be passing the shit all over. Says it's fascinating to see the majority of the net equity in Alameda business is actually FTX own centrally controlled and printed out of thin air tokens, said CEO of investment platform Swan Bitcoin, who is known for his critical views of altcoins, which refer to cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin. So basically, what we're saying.
FTT.
Yes, exactly. It's like, hey, I'm starting my own business, and I'm going to fund it with my own printed up money, and it is going to, and then I can go to investors and be like, this is worth 16 billion gazillion Craig coins. So obviously it's successful because of the 16 gazillion Craig coins. And they're like, well, what's that worth? Oh, it's just worth what? 16 gazillion.
Yeah.
You should know that because it's huge. It's going to be huge. It's a scam. It's a fucking scam.
Yeah.
And not only that, but he made up his own secret coin with other people's money and then had it transferred into, probably so it couldn't be tracked from where it came from, transferred into Alameda as FTT. So they can't look at it and be like, oh, where's all these Bitcoins and Ethereum coins? No, he transfers it into his own. So then you really can't trace that. It's a racket. That's all it is.
It is.
At the very least, it's a racket. Oh, and Alameda, do you know who their CEO was?
No.
His ex-girlfriend, one of the 10
of the
polyamorous people that hang out in this freaking.
Well, it's good that they were on. Did she crash it because she got pissed at him?
Probably not.
Too much time with Darla on the beach.
Yes, I had one that had all the lists of companies he's involved with, because he has 130 companies. 130.
Holy shit.
Yes. It's insanity. And it's just like these 10 people that can barely like hold shit together are somehow responsible for 130. No, only 130 went bankrupt, I guess. He has other companies that weren't involved in the bankruptcy.
Okay.
I wish I had that one. I can't find it, but that's all right. You know what 130 looks like.
Yeah.
Can you imagine at 30 years old?
Yeah.
Not only are you running this like multi-billion-dollar corporation, but you're also running this other multi-billion-dollar corporation, and as subsidiaries to that, you have 130 other companies that you're trying to move money around. Like, what do you need that many for if it's not for a fucking racket? Does that not sound like like the mob, how they always set up like their little shell corporations with different names so they could funnel money around.
Absolutely.
And
yes,
it's just a fucking like
it's a show
teenage
game.
mob is what it is.
Absolutely.
And so Fortune magazine says that FTX was run by a gang of kids in the Bahamas who all dated each other. That's the headline here. So I want to get into these kids.
Okay.
When we say kids, they're 28 to 30 or whatever. But
they're kids.
in like the tech industry or like billionaire status, they're kids. They're fucking kids. I mean, look at this guy and tell me this guy's not just
he
a
looks
fucking
like
kid.
he eats Cheetos in his mom's basement.
Yeah, and like plays video games 24
all the
hours a
time.
day. Yes.
Right?
It says, shocking is a word that aptly describes the rapid fall of Sam Bankman-Fried's cryptocurrency empire. To a surprising degree, it's a sentiment that pours out from people who worked for him, people you'd think would have had a clue. So a lot of this is former employees that are like coming out of the works.
Right. Now.
Yeah. Saying how kind of weird these people were. It says, how can this be? It may have something to do with a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas. That's where 30-year-old Bankman-Fried and his roommates with the inner circle, who ran his now struggling crypto exchange FTX and trading giant Alameda Research. Many are former co-workers from quantitative trading firm Jane Street. I want to figure out what Jane Street is, why they all went from there to start this thing. Others he met at MIT, his alma mater. It says all 10 are or used to be paired up in romantic relationships with each other. That includes Alameda CEO Carolyn Ellison, whose firm played a central role in the company's collapse, and who at times has dated Bankman-Fried, according to people familiar with the matter. CoinDesk spoke to several current and former FTX and Alameda employees who agreed to talk on the condition of anonymity, citing ongoing harassment and death threats due to the exchange's solvency issues. And they said, essentially, it's a place full of conflicts of interest, nepotism, and lack of oversight. Can you not be any, like, obvious?
Yeah. Right.
Like, that is such an understatement there. Nepotism, conflict of interest, and lack of oversight. That, if all these rumors and stories are true, that's what all this is. It's just like, a bunch of fuck buddies got together. They're smart fuck buddies, though, and they decided to start a bunch of businesses, and they're all smart, so they're like, well, we're going to have, like, shuffle this around. Well, why do, like, 5 businesses? Why not have, like, 150 businesses?
If this one starts to fail, we take money off of this one, put it over to this one, and...
All right, hold that thought. Let's go fuck real quick.
Yeah, right.
Like, let's have a group orgy up in our penthouse real quick. Insanity.
Yeah.
Like, none of this screams like Fortune 500 level CEOs.
No.
And is that just the millennial age coming into, like, changing the atmosphere? Or how did they get to the status to begin with? Yeah, I mean, it takes more than just fucking brains to get to, like I said, to get to that billionaire status. You got to be a business genius.
Yeah.
You got to have, like, more than just the tech mindset.
And put this into perspective. Okay, you have a group of 10 fuck buddies, right, who live in the Bahamas in a penthouse, right? They're in the Bahamas, okay? They're these young kids with an endless supply of money, okay?
Other people's money,
not
their
money.
own.
But somehow they were able to put together over 150 businesses.
Right. Between their, like, circle jerks?
Yeah, right. How is that even possible?
I don't know. Like,
how is that?
I can barely hold together a podcast with my daytime job.
Right? Yes.
But these guys are out there circle jerking and starting 130 companies between 10 of them.
Yeah.
Just 10. That's like 13 companies per person collectively.
Right.
Says FTX and Alameda employees that CoinDesk interviewed say they have been kept in the dark about events of the past week, adding only CEO Bankman-Fried's inner circle, the fuck buddies, had knowledge that the exchange siphoned customers' funds into corporate sibling Alameda. So they're saying none of the, like, employees knew about this. That was all the inner circle. They were in charge of all the transferring of money and stuff. So if something like that was happening, we would have never known because that was all on them.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
They said it's been radio silence from Sam, the CEO guy. A second employee told CoinDesk on Wednesday, "We saw that Binance guy was going to buy FTX, and we thought it was fake. But then Sam tweeted just to confirm it." So they're like, oh, we're going to be okay because Sam said that
Hope was on the way.
Binance is going to buy us out. Goes on, if you scroll down, I can't read all of this. It says, among his 9 housemates are FTX co-founder and chief tech officer Gary Wang from Google, FTX director of engineering Nishad Singh, and Ellison, the ex-girlfriend of Alameda, Bankman-Fried's trading business that's at the center of the current chaos, and on which Wall Street Journal reported got $10 billion. So $10 billion came from FTX customers into Alameda. Wow. That was the final tally. Wow. $10 billion, which was more than half of the amount that Alameda was worth, because I think it said like $16 billion on that
like
last
14
one.
billion, yeah.
14, 16. So yeah, more than 50% of the money propping them up came from FTX not employers, but customers.
Yeah, it was like a third.
It says Gary, Nishad, and Sam control the code, the exchange's matching engine, and funds. So the inner circle, 3 of those have sole control of the coding and the exchange and the funds. So it says if they move them around or input their own numbers, I'm not sure who else would notice. So lack of oversight, like it's saying. Yeah. You get these kids. I mean, at least with most corporations, you have this board of like outsiders that are like keeping a track of stuff, and it's like, I don't know if you want to do that. That seems like out of the best interest of investors. Right. Well, this whole company is fucking investors. Yeah. And you got these kids that are like, well, I control the code, you control the funds, we'll just move shit around here. Everything
Nobody will know.
It's not like we're not going to get that money back.
Right. We'll get the money in there before anybody knows it's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Do they ever watch fucking movies?
No.
Because the money is
too
never
busy
there. Exactly. The money is never there when you need it. Yes. It's when they say, "Oh, we'll be fine. We'll invest this in a horse race. Right. I'm going to take money from my company here. I'm going to invest it in a horse race, and I'm going to win, and then I'm going to pay them back. And then I made out money." And they lose their ass on a horse race, and then they can't pay their employer back, and then they are ultimately fucked by the horse. Says Bankman-Fried and Ellison didn't respond to requests. No shit, but probably because they left the country.
Right.
Says Wang Sing and Ellison also comprised the board of Bankman-Fried's FTX Foundation. So his philanthropy foundation is also ran by his circle jerk, like his top circle jerk people.
Which is also another money laundering scheme.
As far as we can tell. Now, if these 3 to 10 people are responsible for just shifting some money here and there to launder money around or like invest in money that they're not supposed to, do you think those people should be in charge of the philanthropic arm of their company? No. The ones that aren't supposed to be embezzling and defrauding. Right. They're supposed to be giving it to good causes.
It's supposed to be completely separate.
So when you hear about what they're doing with Alameda and FTX, does that give you any hope for FTX Foundation, the philanthropy side of it?
I would expect that they're probably doing human slavery.
So this is the worst part. It says, some employees kept their life savings at FTX. We trusted that everything was fine.
Ouch.
Again, when the boss tells you everything's fine,
right,
but the world around you is telling you everything's not fine.
Right.
Maybe you should start listening to yourself and not the boss.
Isn't that kind of the Bernie Madoff thing? I mean, right?
How did nobody say anything before it was way too late?
Yeah, right.
Like, the first indicator that something shady was going on was November 2nd when that article came out saying, a lot of this money we looked into is FTT, so we think something shady might be going on here. Yeah. And then people are like, oh, this guy that we considered the godchild of crypto, I mean, he's like the poster boy of crypto. Right. Oh, maybe this ain't so good after all. And things just, as they do, just freaking collapsed. Like,
but then he's like, don't worry, guys, I got it under control. And they're like, okay, Sam knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and then a day later, 2 days later, we're filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. But everything was fine for me. For me, everything was fine.
Yeah. But I'll pay back your savings 10 cents on the dollar.
Don't worry. If you give me each $10,000 more dollars, I'll be able to save the company, and then I'll be able to pay you back everything you.
Right. Yeah.
That's usually how that.
I'll send you a voucher.
It's like a drug addict. It's like
it is.
I'm getting my life together. Can I just borrow like $100? I got this business opportunity. It's just like.
Right.
Yeah. I've heard of your business opportunities.
FTT didn't really work out so well.
Alameda, that business opportunity.
But we got a new thing. It's TFF.
Yeah, we're adding a 131st business.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I had that one list of businesses. That's all right. We got to move on anyway. So, I don't even know why I have this one here. Just talks about Alameda.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about the history of Alameda. I mean, some articles talk about how Alameda was they were investing in an affiliate, Alameda. But what a lot of them don't specify is that he started Alameda. It wasn't like it was like, oh, we're closely connected. No, it's like, this is my slush fund over here.
Right.
We are one and the same. It doesn't really get into that. But I don't need to get into this. We talked a little about Alameda. That's all.
I mean, isn't this just like a miniature version of the Fed?
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, doesn't that scare the shit out of you? I guess you've known for a while it's like that, but I mean, other people out there have no clue. But it's like, this is the Fed does this every fucking day.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
The Fed shifts your money around, gives it to the government agencies, gives it here, invests it there. Or just makes it disappear altogether.
Right,
That's what they do. So, the day that they declared bankruptcy, coincidentally, the company got hacked and more than $600 million just disappeared. Hackers knew that this bankruptcy was coming. They're like, before all this money disappears, we need to take this money because this is our last hope.
So this group of tech geniuses that created this company with, I assume, lots of backups and shit, got hacked.
Yeah. Not just FTX, but also FTX USA. So both of their there's FTX, which was like international, FTX USA, both got hacked at the same time, simultaneously, while it's all drained.
Wow, it had to be Russians.
Obviously, it was the Russians.
Yes.
So let's see how believable this is. FTX has been hacked. Crypto disaster worsens as exchange sees mysterious outflows exceeding $600 million. FTX officials appeared to confirm rumors of a hack on Telegram, instructing users to delete FTX apps and avoid its website. So basically, it's like, guys, we've been hacked. All your money's disappearing. Do not look at your wallet because there could be Trojan viruses.
Yeah.
Do not look at the apps.
They could get into your phone and get your other apps.
Delete the apps.
Yes.
Don't look at the website as we siphon everything.
Right. Yeah. We'll update you as we get more information.
Yeah. It's like, we're being robbed. Don't look in there. We're being robbed.
Yeah.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It says the collapse of FTX, already one of the most spectacular disasters in financial history, worsened as hundreds of millions of dollars were drained from cryptocurrency exchange hours after it filed for bankruptcy. More than $600 million, this was at the time, it could be like in the billions by now, but more than $600 million was siphoned from FTX's crypto wallets late Friday. Soon after, FTX stated in an official Telegram channel that it had been compromised, instructing users not to install any new upgrades and delete all FTX apps. This was the administrator's statement. FTX has been hacked. FTX apps are malware. Delete them. Chat is open. Don't go on FTX site as it might download Trojans, wrote an account administrator in the FTX support Telegram chat. The message was pinned by FTX General Counsel Ryan Miller. Hours later, Miller disclosed in a tweet that FTX US and FTX.com had been moving all their digital assets to cold storage because of the Friday bankruptcy. So now they're moving it to cold storage, which I'm guessing is like offline servers, and they expedited it to mitigate the damage. So it's just like, yes, a lot of money's being drained. So to keep that money from being drained, we're going to drain that and put it on our own secure servers over here. So because because of the bankruptcy. They're like, well, we got to withhold all the because all the assets are going to go away during the bankruptcy hearing. So we're doing this for the bankruptcy proceedings. It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Shady.
It says many FTX wallet holders reported $0 balances in their FTX and FTX US wallets. FTX's API appeared to be down, which could account for this. According to on-chain data, various Ethereum tokens as well as Solana and Binance Smart Chain tokens exited FTX's official wallets and moved to decentralized exchanges like 1inch. Both FTX and FTX US appear to be affected. On Twitter, members of the crypto community quickly began to speculate that the outflows could have been coordinated by a member of Bankman-Fried's inner circle. No, I mean, these shady fucking individuals find out they're going to lose their asses majorly, and they're like, and they're the ones responsible for all the code and all the currency, and they're like, dude, I don't want to go away with. Do you want to walk away with nothing? I mean, we're in the Bahamas already. Right. They can't get us here. Yeah. Let's.
What if the Russians hacked us?
Yeah. Yes. It sounds like the 2020 election.
Right.
It says pointing out that simultaneous and sophisticated hacks of FTX and FTX US are indicative of a potential inside job. Twitter sleuth Zach XBT tweeted Friday night that multiple former FTX employees confirmed that they do not recognize the transfers. Around midnight Eastern Time, FTX's login portal was unavailable, giving users a 503 error when they attempted to log in. That's what you want to see. It's just like, oh, our money's going away. And they go to log in, and it's just like error. It's just like, fuck.
We cannot find this page.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think Russian hackers? You think somebody found out about their demise and you're like...
No, like you said, it sounds like the business owner who can't afford the business, so he sets the place on fire. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, right? At least he'll get the insurance money.
And he emptied the vault while he
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. He cleaned out all the assets, took the computers, all that shit. Yeah, it sounds like they hacked. They took what they could, and they're like, you know what? Insurance will cover the customers.
Yes.
Right?
So... interesting is there were rumors that Bankman-Fried, whatever his name is, and fled to Argentina. That's what the rumors were, because there's flight trackers and shit out there, and somebody tracked his plane to Argentina. Well, apparently he's confirmed that that's not for real by texting and saying, no, I'm still in the Bahamas, basically. So rest assured, he hasn't fled the country.
Okay. He's still in the Bahamas.
I am skeptical.
Outside of the country.
Yeah, I am skeptical. Because Argentina apparently is a country that would extradite to the U.S., so why the fuck would he flee to Argentina?
Yeah.
But
he'd go to Venezuela.
Where the fuck was it? Like, why was this plane flying to Argentina? Who was? Yeah. Maybe they're taking a bunch of servers to Argentina.
Oh,
they're cold servers that disappeared. All those wallets stored on cold servers and probably just flown out of the country.
Well, maybe they are able to buy Argentina.
Maybe. I mean, they were going to buy J.P. Morgan Chase. Maybe they're just like, we're just going to fucking buy Argentina. A country. And then we can set up our own exchange there and make all our own freaking
Nobody
money.
Can stop us.
Yes. So, what do you think so far? Because it only gets more weird from here. We haven't even hit the weird yet.
We haven't hit the weird yet?
Mm-mm.
Wow. No, honestly, it sounds like these kids are just fucking around, like they're treating people's money like it's World of Warcraft.
But that's exactly like during investment meetings where he's talking about like buying another company.
Yeah.
He is playing an
League
RPG
Legend.
game on his computer while he's like they're trying to like work out this multi-million-dollar business deal. He's just like, hold on, I gotta attack this guy here.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
so then he's playing fast and loose with people's money, creating companies to kind of shuffle shit around, and then things go tits up.
Mm-hmm.
He fakes a hack, takes the money, and runs.
I mean,
that's what it sounds like to me.
Bernie Madoff, ring a bell?
Yeah.
I mean, what is this?
Except for this guy's smarter
than Bernie?
Well, apparently, because he staged a hack.
Yeah, but is it really hard to trace a hack, though?
No. If people are motivated to do so.
I did see this thing. I don't know how true this is, but there's a rumor out there that it's another platform called Kraken Exchange, and they came out and basically said that a boatload of money just got transferred into Kraken, and they think they know who the hacker was. And so there's all that, like, they think, because it says the FTX hacker just funded his TRX wallet through Kraken, the same wallet that holds the stolen funds. This means Kraken should have enough information to track down the individuals together with the law. It talks about how they're leaning towards it being an inside job here. So I don't know how true that is, but apparently if that is the case, that's like you go rob a bank and then you go like take $50,000 to another bank, or you just go and pay cold cash for a Lamborghini, like those kind of like bad guys. It's just like, we just stole $600 million in cryptocurrency. Let's transfer it all into one wallet over here. That would make sense. I have a hard time believing that's real because, again, he has his own cold servers. He could just store that on and just, like, filter it out.
And he had over 130 businesses and a charitable foundation that he was shuffling shit around in.
Right.
Yes, I don't think he's dumb enough to take it all and just throw it into one thing.
Maybe he is. Maybe the pressure got to him.
Maybe that's his excuse, right? Maybe he'd be like, oh, I would never do that.
Yeah, why the fuck would I transfer this all into a Kraken wallet?
Right?
And he's like, man,
that's his alibi.
Nobody's going to believe I'm that stupid. I don't know. I don't know what I think about this guy. Like, part of me wants to think maybe he started, like, with good intentions, and then as it got bigger and bigger, he started playing loose with it. It's just like, well, we could do, as, like, business people do. You start, like, throwing money in different places, see if we can expand even further, and that doesn't work out, so you start throwing a little more in it, and then it just got, like, spiraled out of control. Or do you think this guy is just a scumbag, complete scumbag?
I think he's got a massive ego. He feels like he's smarter than everybody else. The system doesn't apply to him, and he was able to, play the shell game and keep the money kind of going between places so that people couldn't really track it, and he would be all right.
Well, the great thing, the selling point of crypto is it's really hard to track. So imagine being like in the inner circle of the crypto shuffling of money, knowing that it's really hard to track. It's like, I can play this fucking game all day long, and you can't track it. So
I want to know, like, okay, who decided that they were going to give him up and print this article saying, like, hey, Almeida's using money from FTT?
Well, it's almost like it was like some crypto magazine or like
somebody
report.
had to tip him off.
I think what it was they looked at their balance sheet and just saw the majority was their made up currency. So A plus B equals, hey, it looks like they're taking money from this pot and putting in this pot. Otherwise, why would so much of it just be their own currency?
But if that article was never published, this could have gone for years.
Oh yeah.
So
like I said, that's not the weird shit. That's just the normal,
which is bizarre.
The normal bizarre shit. Yeah. We got to get into the crazier shit. We got to take a break first, but we're gonna get into like the whole rumors of like mass money laundering for the Democrat Party to fund the Ukraine war, to fund pandemic response and stuff like that. There's a lot out there. So we're gonna take a break first and let you like relax your brain from this before we get into that shit, because it gets crazier than we've already got into.
I look forward to that.
So we're going to take 2 or 3 minutes, take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to keep digging into the insanity that is the downfall of FTX. Yeah. So we will be right back. If I can find my button. There it is. There's my...
Have you ever thought that maybe voting, maybe all this politics constantly surrounding you is not the way to achieve freedom in your life? Hi, I'm Remso W. Martinez, and I ask myself the same question. That's why I'm on a journey to find true freedom in my lifetime. From learning about financial independence, to new ways to develop rugged individualism, to amazing guests living strange, crazy, amazing lifestyles that you've only thought might be real, but actually are. Go ahead and check out my new show, On the Run with Remso W. Martinez at the We Are Libertarians Network. You can find On the Run with Remso W. Martinez on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. You know how the internet works. Come on down and let's discover how to achieve real freedom in your life together.
Hey everybody, I just want to take this time to give a big shout out to the very first sponsor of the Break the Bell podcast. That is Goulash Media. They can be found at goulashmedia.net. Goulash Media specializes in graphic design, web design, audio recordings, video work, wedding videos, music videos, even political campaign videos. Goulash Media caters to the little guy with the big vision. You can check them out at goulashmedia.net. That's GOULASH media.net.
Here we are, talking the FTX meltdown, the fall of the crypto giant or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
the golden boy. The golden boy
yes.
fell.
I mean, it's never usually shocking to me when I hear something crypto related massively falls, but when it's like they're calling this like one of the biggest like financial collapses. I feel like more people should be talking about this if it is that big. I mean, does this affect our economy really? Is crypto that big in our economy yet that this really affects it too much, you think?
No, but I mean, if it is the future of our economy, I think this is a big thing. And like we talked about before, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again, you know, the fact that there are people that are trying to get regulation going. This is a pretty big reason why they should.
This is a step in the right direction.
Like I said, this is basically what happened in 2008, right?
Well, I mean, the guy was lobbying for regulation.
Yeah.
And then this happens, and now everybody's pushing for more regulation.
Right.
So maybe they paid him off to collapse it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's why it was started in the first place. Maybe it was backed, like Fed-backed platform. It's just like, make this thing like really big, and then we'll tank it.
Yeah.
We'll let you walk away with a couple $100 million. You're kind of disgraced, but you got rich off it, and then in the end of the day, we made crypto look that much worse.
Exactly.
And,
and we'll be able to put regulations on it. So let's do it.
You keep going back, like at the same time you're saying they would call for regulation, but you're comparing it to the 08 collapse.
Yeah.
How much regulation came out of the 08 collapse?
Oh, dude, it sucks to buy a house.
Does it?
Oh, yeah. They track every dollar that goes into your bank account. My
they
wife,
regulate you, but do they regulate the banks though? That's the real
well,
question.
no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they want to find out where every dollar is coming from, and so I mean, trying to buy a house, it's like we were buying a house. It was right after our anniversary and my wife's birthday. They're like, "Where'd this money come from?" That was a gift from my dad. Do you have some receipts to prove that? I mean,
do people give receipts with gifts?
Right? I know. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, was it a considerable amount of money that? I mean, if so, then fine. But
not enough that should be tracked.
Yeah, knowing, like, I don't feel like your parents are giving you like a $50,000 check for your birthday to walk away with. I mean, maybe I don't know your dad well, but maybe I don't know something about you.
No.
To be like, where'd this like $200 check come from? The $200, like, I don't know, just anything. Does anybody I mean, that's retarded.
It is. Well, and then they had to look at my kids' bank accounts. I mean, all of it. It was just ridiculous.
But look how the banks like funnel money around with no questions asked. But we got
us.
Yeah. Well, that's remember they were going to start tracking your banks if anything it was over like a couple $100 or something.
Oh yeah,
remember,
right.
We talked about that. That's probably part of that.
I'm sure.
So I mentioned we were going to get into the weird stuff in the second half.
I'm looking forward to the weird stuff.
This tweet popped up. You know who James Wood is, right? Actor, famous actor.
Plays the bad guy a lot.
Yeah, he's the bad doctor on John Q. That was what I know him most for because that's a fantastic movie. I want to say a bad doctor. He's just kind of a smug guy that just cares about the bottom dollar.
Sure.
He posted on Twitter this week.
He's also a conservative.
Actually, today.
Yeah.
Posted on Twitter today. The Democrat-Ukraine-FTX money laundering circle jerk is the kind of story that would have won Pulitzer Prize for Washington Post back when either of them meant something. Now it'll just be a Twitter footnote at best. So you get somebody like that comes out and he's saying, this is an FTX Ukraine Democrat money laundering scam. Right. And it's just like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, what is going on? Because it was bad enough before, but then when you throw in all those words, again, like you said, he's a Republican, so I mean, it could just be like, throwing shit at the Democrat Party. But there seems to be some validity here because this guy, what's the name? The Bankman-Fried guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, SBR, or SBF. He was the second largest donor to the Democrats in the 21-22 cycle, only second to George Soros.
Wow.
In donating to the Democrat Party. So I mean, a lot of funds funneling to the Democrat Party here. So I got a little bit about him and his political donations from Wikipedia.
That's SBF?
Yes, this is SBF's Wikipedia page. It talks about his political donations.
Okay.
It says before 2020, he made a few political donations as a student, except a $1,000 contribution to Michael Bennett at the age of 18. So,
so
before
any college
2020,
student who's giving money for a campaign donation has money. I mean,
he only gave a $1,000 contribution at that point.
Would you give $1,000 now?
But you got to realize his parents were professors at Stanford,
yes.
and he went to MIT. So it's not like, I mean, $1,000 to him was probably just like, well, let's see what I got in my pocket
and that's
today.
what he spends at McDonald's.
It says in the 2020 election, however, he contributed $5.2 million. So pre-2020, contributed $1,000. Now his company started in 2019, so obviously. He has more money now, but
obviously, yes.
But that's a pretty big, significant difference.
Yeah.
Contributed $5.2 million to two super PACs that supported the Biden campaign. He was the second largest individual donor for Joe Biden in 2020 election cycle, second to Michael Bloomberg that time.
Okay.
And then in the 2021 to 22 cycle, he was second to George Soros. Apparently, though, in 21 and 22, he contributed to a couple of Republicans like Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, and Ben Sasse of Nebraska. So I feel like he's throwing it at a few Republicans to be like, dude, I'm not just donating to just Democrats.
Right.
So he threw a couple mil at them, and then
except for all those people you mentioned are very anti-Trump,
and they're very like system politicians.
Right.
Says in 2022, Bankman-Fried provided initial financial support for Protect Our Future PAC. So he basically funded the startup of the Protect Our Future PAC, which was launched as a Democrat Political Action Committee. He started with $10 million in initial funding, aiming to support lawmakers who play the long game on policymaking in areas like pandemic preparedness and planning. So he helped start this super PAC. By helping start, he solely funded its startup.
Yeah.
Says he was the second largest individual donor to the Democrat causes in 21-22 cycle, with total donations of $39.8 million, only behind George Soros. Of this, $27 million was given to the Protect Our Future PAC, which was bankrolled by him. Bankman-Fried said in February that his political contributions were not aimed at influencing his policy goals for the cryptocurrency ecosystem. However, FTX was circulating a list of suggestions to policymakers at the time. So he's like, I'm not doing this to influence my cryptocurrency.
But since I'm here.
But while I'm here, this is what you should do, and this is what you should do. He said in an interview he would prefer the Commodity Future Trading Commission take a larger role in regulating and guiding the crypto industry. The CFTC has a reputation for favoring relatively relaxed regulations for the industry when contrasting with other regulators like the SEC. Bankman-Fried pushed for regulations via the proposed Digital Commodities Consumer Protection Act by extensively lobbying Congress, which was perceived as being favorable to FTX but harmful to the broader industry, especially its decentralized finance competitors. So he's lobbying for this regulation. He's a centralized company.
Right.
His policies he's pushing hurt the decentralized platform. So it's kind of like trying to push the competitors out.
Yeah, he's not really pushing for regulation for the betterment of the industry. He's pushing for regulation to screw his competitors.
Yes, exactly. That's what he is. Again, he's not pro cryptocurrency by any stretch. He's pro himself and making a couple dollars for himself. So let me see where I'm at here. Again, $35 million in the 21-22 elections. Holy shit. Let's just say 22 elections.
All right.
Just the cycle. That cycle.
That works.
The 22 elections, he contributed $35 million. And I got a list that I will show. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because it's not like he just threw money at, like, I don't know, a couple people that he supported. I mean, he's supporting the shit out of some of these.
Is it possible?
Here it is. Go ahead.
That the fact that he's pushing these regulations against competitor companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this magazine, who probably supports the industry as a whole, feels like he's being harmful. Decides, hey, let's look at this guy's books, right? Let's see if we can dig up any dirt on him. Find out that
that's what I wonder. It's like this guy is not. He's not for us. He's playing with a man here. Let's see what we got.
Because
on this
it
guy.
definitely seems like somebody decided that, hey, we need to focus on this guy. We need to see what we can find on him, and they found a lot of shit.
Yeah, they found,
and they screwed him up.
Oh yeah. So this was a list of his contributions in 2022 alone. It starts up here: $10 million to Protect Our Future PAC, $9 million to Protect Our Future PAC. I guess, this is solely 22. So look at all these contributions. We got like Maggie Hassan Victory Fund, the Gillibrand Victory Fund, New Hampshire Democratic Party, Collins for Senator, Boozman for Arkansas. I mean, he's contributing to like every fucking state all over the country, trying to influence everything.
Yeah.
Off the Sideline PAC, Serving Our Country PAC, Maxwell Alejandro Frost for Congress. Look at this fucking list.
Yeah, right. He's got money everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably,
like you said, in every state. I bet you if you look, there's some Iowa in there.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna try to dig that deep, but yeah, there's got to be Iowa in there because it looks like just about everywhere.
Every
Vermont,
state.
We've got Colorado, we've got Ohio's Democrat Party, Nebraska Democrat Party, Democrat Executive Committee for Florida, Texas Democrat Party. So lots and lots and lots of transactions going to the Democrat Party. You think he just likes the Democrats that much?
Not really, no.
Does any like billionaire donate money to politicians without like wanting something back?
No, they don't.
Whether it's
it's always favorable for them and their industry.
Right, exactly. So, but I mean, it's not out of the norm for these billionaires to donate, but there are rumors that it's more than just donations. There are rumors that this is a money laundering scheme. And I got to look too, and I know this is enemy sponsored media, but the Russian Times article here says a lot about this. And it's funny because the Russian Times is quoting Gateway Pundit, which is a far right. So I don't know how much of this is true or if it's just them throwing shit again at the Democrat Party.
But it's worth looking at.
But you saw the numbers are numbers. You can't you can't make up those numbers. They're just public knowledge numbers.
Yeah.
But the surroundings of this might just be rumors, but it's definitely worth talking about because that's what we do on the show. This says, again, from Russian Times, failed crypto exchange was a money laundering operation. It says, FTX took millions of dollars in donations for Ukraine, but allegedly rerouted sums back to U.S. politicians. So, basically, according to Gateway Pundit, according to Russian Times, FTX had set up a clearinghouse, so all crypto donations came through FTX to go to the war efforts in Ukraine. So any donations that came through by means of cryptocurrency funneled through FTX. They were the clearinghouse for Ukraine donations. Because it says SBF, the founder of failed cryptocurrency exchange FTX, allegedly laundered billions of dollars through Ukraine by setting up his company as the central clearinghouse for all crypto donations to Kiev's war effort, according to the Gateway Pundit. Democratic politicians sending aid to Ukraine would see their money come back in the form of donations through FTX, the outlet claims. So they donate money to Ukraine, then they get donations back. Well, where did they get money from the donations? Or for the political donations, it was through
FTX.
It was FTX got that money to donate back, probably from them. So they can write it off as, hey, I'm donating money to Ukraine, but that money, some of that money funnels back to their own campaigns, is what it sounds like they're saying here.
Yeah, and that based on what you showed me, that list, that makes sense.
Yeah. FTX launched crypto donation platform Aid for Ukraine in March, setting itself up as the central clearinghouse for all cryptocurrency donations to the war effort. While the exchange was supposed to route those donations to the National Bank of Ukraine, the report suggests it funneled at least some of the money back to the U.S. through political donations. Bankman-Fried was the second largest donor to the Democrat Party for the midterms, pouring some $38 million into candidates' coffers in 2022 alone. The Ukrainian government had already received $60 million in crypto donations as of March. FTX did not publish the amount of the amounts that were taken in through donations. So, again, the thing with crypto is you don't track it. So supposedly, he's taking in these donations and sending it to Ukraine. He's not reporting on how many donations were coming in, but he does report on how much goes to Ukraine. So it would be very easy to take in, I don't know, $100 billion and funnel only $80 billion to Ukraine, and then you keep $20 billion, funnel some of it back to the politicians that are working on your behalf, and then probably sit on a bunch of it too.
Yeah.
It says other fundraising campaigns in Kiev behalf have been hugely successful. Apparently, Mark Hamill raised enough to fund 500 drones in 1 month for Kiev.
Mark Hamill?
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Whatever funds the exchange had under management have presumably evaporated with the rest of the assets due to an alleged hack last week, and the exchange filed for bankruptcy on Friday. The resulting chaos has sent crypto markets spiraling. Says in addition to bankrolling political campaigns, Bankman-Fried spent millions lobbying to shape cryptocurrency regulations. Democrats responsible for overseeing the Commodity Future Trading Commission were particular targets for his largesse, and he is now under investigation by the same agency for moving $10 billion in client assets off FTX to his hedge fund Alameda Research. So the same people he was lobbying to are the ones
who got the
investigating him now.
Sure.
You think?
Yeah, you know how this is going to go.
He's not going to get anything. No. He's going to get maybe a slap on the wrist,
if that.
So that's basically all.
That's
this
bullshit, man.
Yeah. So I mean, speculation. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's easy to speculate when the money, they're not reporting the money that's going into donations.
Right.
They're just reporting the outflow, not the inflow.
Right.
So it would be easy. And from what we see of his home front businesses, of how he shifts money around, you think through these like philanthropic war effort donations, he's not shifting some of that money around for himself, for his friends, for his constituents,
political
I guess.
Favors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let me find my spot. There's so much here. I don't want to get too out of order because it just keeps getting weirder as it goes. Because we talked about the political donors. I want to get into this next one though. This is the one I sent you. It talks about how FTX was a massive money laundering operation with ties to the pandemic. I think this is the one I'm on.
Yeah, that's the
this one's freaking weird.
Yes.
Because not only now do we have ties to Ukraine, we also have ties into the pandemic.
Right.
Again, it's a little stretching, but it's not real
Right.
stretching when you really do your homework on it.
Right.
So this article quotes somebody else. It talks about it. It says a true scandal is opening for the Biden administration. As of April 25th, 2019, Biden announced his presidential campaign. 13 days later, Sam Bankman-Fried, son of Barbara Fried, who's a Stanford professor and co-founder of political fundraising organization Mind the Gap. So his mother was also a political fundraiser.
Yeah.
Didn't know that part. He launched FTX crypto exchange 13 days after Biden announced his candidacy. The exchange is magically an overnight success, which that's not too shocking to me because of
crypto.
We're at the beginning, the early stages of crypto here, so anything could possibly take off really fucking fast. And if you have politicians at your back and other like elitists at your back, it's really going to fucking take off. Look at Facebook.
Yeah.
It says election day. So it says the exchange is magically an overnight success. SBF becomes the biggest donor to Biden. Then election day this year, FTX implodes completely. So it's almost like it had a lifespan of one entire election cycle.
Yeah.
How bizarre is that?
That is really bizarre.
It's like 2020 elections kick off. They start this thing. Potentially funnel money for political candidates in the 2020 and the 2022 election.
Got to get through the midterms.
Midterms happen.
Yeah.
Midterms come and they go, and then suddenly FTX just is gone.
Yeah.
Just disappears.
Yeah.
As quickly as it started, it's gone.
This crypto juggernaut that's been there for the last couple of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Says if you think the scandal is done, it gets even deeper. Gabe Bankman-Fried, his brother, is the founder of Guarding Against Pandemics. That's all it says on this.
Yeah.
But if you look into Guarding Against Pandemics, it's a left-leaning advocacy created in 2020 to support legislation that increased government investment in pandemic prevention plans. The organization was created to support a specific proposal by Biden's administration to allocate $30 billion in federal funding for the containment of future pandemic outbreaks. Now, we speculated then that was money laundering on its own.
Right. Yeah.
Like, where's this money actually going to? All this, like, medical spending, pandemic relief spending, it's a money laundering scheme.
Absolutely.
This brother of SBF, we'll call him GBF, Gabe, whatever, Bankman-Fried, started this pandemic investment advocacy group specifically to support this one bill. It wasn't to like, hey, we need to reach out to and like stop all pandemics. It's like, oh, we need to get this bill going. So we're going to start this and we're going to push this one bill. Our group pushes that bill. It says the organization was founded to support the $30 billion funding for public health projects to prevent future pandemics and the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill proposed by the Biden administration. The organization initially launched by announcing plans to spend at least $128,000 in advertisement, pushing the proposal in D.C. region. Sam Bankman-Fried hired his brother, former Democratic congressional staffer Gabe, to run the organization. So Sam started, SBF started it, but then he tasked his brother with running it. And his brother was a Democratic congressional staffer himself. So he already had ties to the Democratic Party.
Yes.
So it says the main policy supported by Guarding Against Pandemics was supporting the proposed that bill. That was their main goal. They funded ads and advertising and stuff to support this bill. It's just bizarre to me.
Yeah.
It says items the organization claims will be funded by the federal spending will include early vaccine development for known pathogens, development of more effective masks, investments in air filtration in buildings, and advanced development of testing. Says the organization referred to by local media in Denver as Dark Money Group. So in Denver, where they're pushing this initiative it was to increase marijuana sales tax in Denver to raise funds for the pandemic. And the city of Denver's own local media called his group a dark money group. Wow. So they called this a fucking money funnel, a money pit, way back before this was even really a popularized topic, way before we were even cued into these two brothers. So they're like, these people are shady as fuck, and this is a money laundering scheme, absolutely. So that's, I mean, it gets into who the two brothers are. We have already talked about both of them a couple times, so we don't have to get too much more into that. So there's that, though. So that's how they were connected to the pandemic response or the pandemic laundering scheme.
Yeah.
Back to this article, it says, Gabe was a legislative correspondent for the U.S. House of Representatives and an advisor to large political donors in the Democratic Party.
Wow.
The family aunt, Linda Freed, is a WEF member on the Global Agenda Council on Aging. There's a council on aging in the WEF.
Yes.
What does the Council on Aging do?
Well, I think they try to figure out how they can best terminate old people.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. You know, at some point she's going to get to that age where she's like, everything I've worked for, I'm in that group now. Shit. The father, Joseph Bankman, is a Stanford professor who has lobbied on behalf of hedge fund managers before Congress. FTX's head of ventures and commercial at FTX Ventures, Amy Wu, started with the Clinton Foundation years ago.
Oh, shit.
Nishad Singh, FTX director of engineering, has spent $8 million for Democratic candidates. And finally, Obama's Commodities Future Trading Commissioner, Mark Wetjen, was literally the head of FTX policy and regulation. So we've got connections to Clinton, Obama. We've got all kinds of Democrat, like all inner circle.
The big three.
Yeah. We got buddies across the board with the Democratic Party. So it goes on to say a massive money laundering operation has just been broken open.
And I believe Mind the Gap has connections to Soros.
Which one was Mind the Gap?
That's the agency that the mom was a co-founder for.
Oh, the ageist one?
No. The
the
at
mom.
the very top.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
the mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The political fundraiser, Mind the Gap. Yeah, you're probably right. It says there's a lot more to the story, and it intersects with all the usual cult players from BlackRock to the CIA to the WEF and various nonprofit slush funds. So we got them all. They're connected to everything here.
Can I get an NED? Can I get an NED?
Yeah, no shit.
It's insane. That's insane. Like I said, the connections there. I mean, there's so many rabbit holes.
Yes,
right there. I mean, just in that little black piece right there is just like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's so much there. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
But the rumors get worse. Because now, I mean, we've talked a little bit about Ukraine. We've talked about, I mean, it's no shock that he's funneling money back to the fucking Democrat Party.
Yeah.
It's not really a shock that he's funneling money to pandemic relief because, I mean, they're kind of hand in hand there. But all the things they're connected to, we have accused of being a money laundering pit from day one.
Yes.
Let's get a little more into the Ukraine war. Because this one, I think it was this one. Yeah. It says, the sudden collapse of crypto exchange FTX in its bankruptcy filing today has revealed, again, I don't know how much of this is verified. This is coming from a website. I am just reading it.
Yeah.
But if it's true, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It says, revealed that FTX presently suffers from $10 to $50 billion in liabilities with almost zero assets. And among those liabilities are investments made by Ukraine.
What?
They have this company or this foundation, this clearinghouse where you can donate cryptocurrency to Ukraine.
Right.
According to this, at the same time, it says tens of billions of dollars in American military aid to Ukraine allegedly has been used to fight, that's allegedly supposed to be used to fight Russia, but was cash that Ukraine didn't use to fight Russia, instead invested it back to FTX. So, billions of dollars of U.S. military aid, Ukraine invested it into FTX, according to this site.
So all these military spending packages that we've been sending to Ukraine, the $400 million, $500 million, $300 million, they're taking it and then they're putting it back
laundering
into
it
FTX?
laundering it back for whatever reason, whether it's I don't know, Democrat elections, whether it's for pandemic, it could be any.
Yeah.
We have no fucking
Zelensky's
idea.
like, hey, we were able to pay our electric bill this year, so we're going to send the rest back to FTX.
But like it's fucking brilliant. Again, you can't really track.
Yeah.
Especially they're not reporting it. So you have private donors like ourselves donating crypto through FTX to Ukraine. FTX isn't reporting on that. They're holding a little back, funneling it wherever, whether it's to politicians or to themselves, giving some of it to Ukraine. But then you have the U.S. government that's sending cold, hard cash to Ukraine, billions of dollars. And Ukraine's like spending some of it on the war, but
shifting the rest back.
Like investing some of it into FTX, which shifts it
back to the donors,
whether it's the donors or
candidates.
the politicians or,
Holy
again,
shit.
FTX and their 130 other ventures. So much fucking possibility for money laundering here.
Yeah.
And how is, I mean, part of me wants to say we got to be able to regulate the shit, but part of me says the government can't regulate shit, but there's got to be some kind of oversight on this, not the government, but there's got to be some sort of the public needs to take them out back and beat the fuck out of them. Is what it sounds like.
Doesn't that explain why we've been sending so much fucking money to Ukraine?
Well, yes, because we've been saying this is fucking money laundering to start.
Yeah.
Remember, it was a few weeks ago, we had said that there was reports that 80% of the funds that had been sent hadn't made it to the front lines. And where the hell is this money going? Well, according to this, maybe it's back into cryptocurrency, investing in cryptocurrency. It's like, why are we, even if they're just using it, it's like, oh, we could just invest this money and crypto's doing great. We could invest this and make out like bandits ourselves, being Ukrainians. Like Zelensky's like, oh, I heard cryptocurrency is doing really well. Let's take all this slush money that the U.S. is sending it, and let's try to double that money by playing the lottery with cryptocurrency. Even that, it's just like, dude, it's all fucking money laundering.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
It says, yes, you read it. You read that correctly. Instead of using U.S. military aid to fight Russia, Ukraine invested part or all of it into FTX, and right now it looks like all the money is gone. Well, it's not gone. Money doesn't disappear.
Yeah, right. It's been repurposed.
Yes. The money is somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's with SBF, whether it's with the Democrat Party, whether it's with Black
Zelensky,
Lives Matter, which we know. And that's the thing. It's like, part of me is like, that sounds hard to believe. But then we look at what we've talked about with Black Lives Matter and how that money was all supposedly ground floor donations into this, and how much of the money made it back to the local communities. Very little of it did. The majority of it was funding $1 million mansions, funding the Democrat Party, funding all kinds of shit that was not intended for.
We did a whole show trying to trace the money for Black Lives Matter and how so much of it just disappeared.
I don't think we ever traced the money then either, and we will never trace this money now. This gets back into the Democrat donations and shit.
Yeah.
But we've already
talked about
that a lot. I don't think it's just Democrat donations. I think it's so much fucking more than that.
Fuck yeah.
But when you think about how much the Democrats spend on freaking advertisement to prop up these shitbag candidates.
Right.
And I don't even necessarily think it's probably just the Democrats.
No.
Now, they did say he donated $400,000 to Republicans this year and $35 million. Right. So, I mean, there's some going to there. But
again, they're very system politicians. But I'm sure Republicans have their organizations that they launder through as well. They're just not the ones on the chopping block.
Yeah, they're not there at the moment.
Because this is just American politics, right? I mean, that's all this is. It's just Democrats are the ones that are in the spotlight right now because this is one of their major things. Like I said, I'm sure the Republicans have their own laundering scheme, their own organizations, whatever. But yes, this is what American politics has become.
But can you imagine if it came out that military aid being sent there?
Oh,
I mean, we've been speculating that it's all just coming
right
laundering to other places to begin with, because nobody seems to want to end the war over there.
No,
War is the perfect money laundering scheme.
Absolutely, fighting for democracy, right?
Right, exactly. So
takes no amount of money.
But if it comes out that this is what is happening,
yeah,
I mean, can you find that out? Because according to that, it almost makes it seem like, hey, they've opened the books and we see all this investment from Ukraine. Why is Ukraine investing $50 billion into FTX when they're supposed to be
trying to fight a war?
Trying to fight a war that we are funding. Even if they weren't investing our money into FTX, they're investing some money into FTX, which they should be paying for their own.
And
goddamn
as you
war.
said, the people looking into this are the people that are getting the money.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
so
obviously.
they're not going to dig deep.
No, when you're in bed with the regulators and shit, with the whatever FTC that one is, then they're all looking a blind eye until, like you said, somebody got pissed off and was like, you guys got to look at this. And they're like, fuck.
Yeah. Right.
Fuck, we weren't going to look at that. Now we got to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to take the fall here. You know, you got some really good coders and shit.
Right.
Can you just make that money disappear? You can keep most of it if you want.
Yeah. You just got to make it look realistic. Blame the Russians.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, Russian Times is the ones reporting on this, so obviously it was the Russians.
You can't blame them.
I don't know. You think it's real? Do you think that Ukrainian money laundering scheme might exist?
Yes.
Is there a possibility out there?
Yes. I would say 99% yes.
You think it's that?
Yes. I do. I absolutely do, because it's untraceable. Who's going to question it?
Yeah.
Right?
And you're not reporting, again, money in. You're reporting money out and like, look, we're doing a good thing. It's
Exactly. And very few people, I've heard talk about or even complain about the fact that we keep giving money to Ukraine.
Yes.
Right? Because we're fighting the evil Russians.
Well, obviously.
Right? But it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
It's hilarious is what it is.
It would be hilarious, except for the fact that, again, they've been doing this for years. They've been doing it, I don't know, maybe since Revolutionary War. I don't know, but it keeps working and nobody questions it. So why not keep doing it?
Yeah, no, you're right. But war is racket.
It is, right?
It's like the biggest
Yeah.
money laundering money
Yeah.
pit out there. War.
Yeah.
It's racket.
Yeah.
And then you throw like famous paintings and shit out there. Then you throw like fake paintings. So imagine like the
Hunter Biden in there,
well,
right?
you get like now they have these like digital artworks that NFTs
Yeah.
and you can sell them for like millions of dollars. I mean, you thought it was easy to money launder real paintings. Imagine money laundering
fake paintings.
digital fake paintings.
Right. Yeah.
Simple.
When you get to digital currency, digital artwork, digital whatever, it's going to be so much easier to manipulate.
I wonder if this guy got into any digital artwork.
He probably bought a couple Hunter Bidens.
Oh, yeah. He's got Hunter Bidens hanging out on his wall.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of all this?
It's bullshit, man. It pisses me off.
Does anything happen, though? Does it go anywhere?
It's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to... You don't think this is going to bring the whole system down? Bring the Democrat Party to its knees?
No, fuck no. Maybe his ex-girlfriend would do some time in the country club.
Is it going to end the war in Ukraine if now that FTX is gone, there's no longer that
No, because there'll be somebody else that
they'll
pops
find
up.
another channel.
There will. Like I said,
it's probably one of his...
Business as usual.
One of his not 130 companies that were able to remain open.
Right.
It's probably one of those companies.
Someplace that's being propped up with the $600 million that disappeared.
Yes,
right?
exactly. So,
I mean, it's comical. It is, because, again, nothing will ever be done. It's just going to change hands to a different company and keep rolling.
Does this guy get investigated, do you think?
No.
Because I know
they'll investigate, but it won't go anywhere.
FTX, they're investigating for the $10 billion of transfers between the companies. Do they find the $600 million?
No.
600 plus million. I think it's probably, because that was day one, $600 million. I guarantee you it's in the billions of dollars now.
Absolutely.
They don't find it? It's just gone?
No.
Just money gone?
It's money gone.
So that's, again, money doesn't disappear.
No.
Like they're like,
no.
Well, billions of dollars just disappeared from. Yeah. No, it didn't disappear. Somebody has that fucking money.
Like you said, they'll investigate him. He'll get a slap on the wrist. They'll probably put some regulations in place.
Yeah.
But it's not going to go anywhere.
What kind of regulations you think they'll put in place?
Probably the same that they put on with the housing market, where they'll have to, account for where money's coming
literally
from.
everything.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
but again, as with everything, there's always going to be loopholes.
Well, yeah, they got to put backdoors now into all the cryptocurrencies so they can make them trackable and shit. You know, the whole purpose of crypto goes out the window. Or maybe they just outlaw crypto, and except for the Fed's new cryptocurrency that they're trying to.
Yeah, because it's so well regulated.
Yeah, obviously.
Right?
So this is the only safe one, guys.
Yeah.
If you don't want that to happen, come get our safe, secure, because the Feds do everything safe and secure. Get our safe, secure cryptocurrency here. Because that's the only one that's available. And it will be illegal to get the rest of them.
All this is going to do is it's going to hurt crypto.
Yeah.
But the politicians are going to keep rolling. Like I said, something else is going to pop up, and they'll keep getting their money.
They probably already had backup plans in the works long time ago. It's just like, well, if this one fails, we just shift everything over here. We start funneling things that way. Again, I don't think this is just specific to the Democrat Party.
No.
I mean,
like I said, I'm sure that the Republicans have their organizations as well.
Right.
So
they've got Nazi money or something running around there. I don't know. I wanted to end on a little bit funny of a note, even though this whole thing's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have millions invested in crypto though, so
no.
But it's hilarious.
And I mean, the United States has gotten to the point. I mean, with the printing of money and giving money away, that it's business as usual. I mean, it's not going to stop.
So I mentioned at the beginning that the Miami Heat stadium was named after FTX it was like a 20-year contract. Well, they came out this week and said the reports about FTX and its affiliates are extremely disappointing. Miami-Dade County and the Miami Heat are immediately taking action to terminate our business relationship with FTX, and we will be working together to find a new naming rights partner for their arena. We are proud of the impact of our Peace and Prosperity Plan, sponsored by County Commissioner Keon Hardman and founded through the original deal, is already having and preventing violence and creating opportunities for young people across Miami-Dade. And we look forward to identifying a new partner to continue funding these important programs in the years ahead. So they're looking for somebody else to pay the bill
on the stadium.
To name the stadium so they can continue to fund those projects. They'll probably money launder themselves.
Absolutely.
So that immediately they found a potential candidate.
Perfect.
Bang Bros. Bang Bros, which is a porn production company, apparently.
Okay.
Bang Bros
it sounds like it.
has offered Miami Heat $10 million for stadium naming rights after the collapse of FTX. And apparently this isn't the first time they've offered. Apparently before FTX took over, they offered him money too. But then FTX offered them $100-some million versus their $10 million. And they're like, yeah, we'll take that deal. Says the Miami Heat terminated all business relations with the bankrupted FTX crypto exchange, despite signing a 2-decade, $135 million deal last year to name the sports stadium FTX Arena. The team announced Friday they're searching for new stadium sponsorships, while the sponsorship partner, while the adult company Bang Bros tweeted out their offer to name the area Bang Bros Center, or the BBC.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hope they take the fucking money. Let the markets decide. Take the $10 million. It gets more hilarious, obviously. This is their Bang Brothers tweeted this out. It says, oops. It shows the FTX Stadium Arena, says bankrupt. And then they say, hey, our offer still stands. They photoshopped the Bang Bros logo on top of the stadium. And then they said, we promise less people will get fucked. Genius.
That is.
Genius.
That's awesome.
Can you really turn down that?
No.
I mean, their efforts are just brilliant.
It's clever.
Yes. A porn site admitting that they're gonna fuck less people than FTX did, at least.
Right. And they're honest about that.
It says, Bang Brothers, based out of Miami, tried to purchase the stadium rights in 2019. Here's what they said in a tweet back then. We've officially submitted our $10 million bid for the naming rights to the Miami Heat Arena. We wish to thank American Airlines for their past support of the Heat. We intend to change the name to Bang Brothers Center, a.k.a. the BBC. Back then, Twitter users had a heyday when they announced that. But then somebody commented this week, should have gone with Bang Brothers back in 2019. Everybody knew FTX was a house of cards. Bang Bros won't be filing for bankruptcy anytime soon. And then somebody else said, this only has a chance of happening because it's Florida. I don't know. Like, who do you trust more, Bang Brothers or FTX at this point?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
yeah,
we live in a clown world anyway. You might as well name the stadium after an adult entertainment site.
Shit, it's still cleaner than Disney.
Oh, probably, yeah. It's still, I mean, probably less pedophilia.
Yeah, right, right.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
damn.
We're out of time. I've said everything I have on this. all my information I have.
Does any of this surprise you at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah. And what do you think will come of? I mean, do you think anything will come of the investigation? Will they investigate? I mean,
does it surprise me? Like, individually, all these pieces, none of them surprise me. Does it surprise me that a company would be a funnel for the Democrat Party? No. Does it surprise me that a cryptocurrency platform would steal money and make out like a bandit through a Ponzi scheme and a hack job where they just disappear from the country? No, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Does it surprise me that the Ukrainian war is a giant money funneling scheme? No. When you put all of it together in like one sentence, that's when it kind of surprised me. It's like, is this the big one? Is it? Right. I don't believe. I'm too cynical. I'm too cynical to think that this would be the big one that takes it all down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be the big one.
It should be.
And when you see it all align, if all this is true, which again, I'm not saying all this is true. If all of this is true, this should be enough to take down the system and be like,
fuck yeah.
Fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
But it won't.
No.
It'll just like that one, what's the James Woods, was that his name?
Yeah.
He was basically like this should be a Pulitzer-winning piece.
Yeah.
But it's going to disappear at the bottom of Twitter within like a few days.
Nobody has the balls to take it on.
No.
There's too much money out there.
Right.
So.
And yeah, the people that should be taking it on are probably getting financed through this corrupt system in the first place.
Right.
So even if all the crazy stuff in the second half isn't true, there's enough like facts that we talked about in the first half that, man, this is just a shit piece that never should have allowed to happen.
Yeah.
And the only way it happened was through people looking the other way, through regulators getting paid off. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
People, money going where it shouldn't be going in the first place.
Right. And again, there's enough connections there by SPF that makes you think that, the appropriate parties did look the other way.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's got connections. He's got plenty of connections.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think I don't even necessarily think this is going to be their fall guy. He's going to be sacrificed to the social media gods.
Like I said, it'll be the ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, probably. She was a Harry Potter fan, apparently, too.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know.
I saw her in an interview, and she's sitting there, and she's like, oh, we don't deal in these losses or that or this. And I'm just like, I don't even know what that is, but I feel like you probably shouldn't publicly announce that we don't pay attention to those things. And she's like, I've seen really big losses with no, I'm not going to get into that. And it's just like, what were you going to say?
Right.
It's like,
keep going.
Yeah, she doesn't sound like she really knows a whole. It's just like, no, we just well, one of the things she's like, it's not complicated math. It's like we deal with basically elementary school math with all. I'm just like,
okay, over 150 companies and billions of dollars, and it's elementary
school math. Yeah.
So that would scare the fuck out of me.
Either they weren't in charge, or they.
And that's my thought. That's
like,
my thought.
Yeah, they're just like the face, and they're just given a penthouse to go like party upstairs while the people pulling the strings are shuffling the shit around for them. I can't believe that these fucking gamer nerds with their like circle jerk are running all this shit by themselves single-handedly and making this 2-year venture, 2.5, 3-year venture be as successful as it even was. I just can't see that. Keeping 130 plus businesses rolling the way in any sort of success
in 3 years.
Yeah.
In 3 years turn.
Right, exactly. I feel like they were just given a penthouse and they're like, these guys are the guys because they're like the typical poster child for the modern day billionaire. Look, I mean, look at his scruffy hair and his cargo shorts. Look at her
video games on the side.
Yeah, he's a video gamer. She likes Harry Potter. I mean, this is the shining example. You guys can make it because these nerds made it. Right. But in reality, it was probably some rich old freaking billionaires.
It's probably fucking
shuffling.
CIA or
probably
some shit like
that,
you know.
Now I want to wait till it comes out that FTX was a CIA front. That's what I'm waiting for because all this shit screams CIA front to me. So we'll never find out though.
No, we won't.
And if we do, it's because they've already moved on to the next thing.
And maybe SBF will end up being hung in his cell, right?
With like toilet paper.
Yeah, right. Or suicided with 2 in the back of the head.
Who knows? Yeah, he's not talking. He's not squealing anytime soon. So he probably doesn't even know shit. Like Jeffrey Epstein. They learned from Jeffrey Epstein. Don't make the fall guy the guy with all the knowledge.
Yeah, right.
He just needs to know enough. That's why they threw him up in the penthouse in freaking the Bahamas. So he doesn't know anything. He just gets all the
He's just
bunch
the
of
face.
money.
He's the golden child.
Exactly. So that's probably all the shit is.
Nope, I agree.
Let us know what you all think of this. If you've heard anything else.
It's crazy.
It is. Again, I don't know what's true.
Yeah.
But this is a show where we discuss all of the things, all the sides, all the angles. So if there is a crazy side, we're going to address it because we can, first of all.
Exactly.
It's our
we
show.
Throw it all out there on the table for you, and then you can do your research as well.
You can call it disinformation all you want, but I don't care. I don't feel like we need to be subjected to the main story when I am so interested in that shit.
Right.
So I feel like you guys are too. So let us know what you think. The comment section is always open. You can come hang out with me on Twitter. That's where I like to hang out these days. Otherwise, if you like Facebook, we're on Facebook. We have a forum called the Breaking the Bell Forum. Come join it.
Yeah,
Join
and I've been on Twitter more lately.
He's been on Twitter too. So we're also on Instagram. Follow us, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Yeah. Drop a line. Let us know what you think of all this shit because it's kind of crazy.
Yes.
This is almost as crazy as the episode we did on Nancy Pelosi's husband 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know which one I find more interesting.
Yes. Oh, and to add more to this, FTX used to have its own web link in the WEF.
Oh, I know.
Website.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were connected.
Yeah,
They were like WEF company.
Yeah.
So and you know you gotta like hit all these guidelines to get into that club.
After this happened, the WF dropped the link.
They're just like, no.
Yeah.
You're gone. Well, the website disappeared though too.
Right. Yeah.
So there was no link to drop.
Yeah.
So a lot of crazy shit here. A lot of connections a lot of holes.
Yes.
That we like to fill holes, just like
Lots
the Bang
of rabbit
Bros.
holes. Yeah, right.
That's all the time we got for this show. Again, share us far and wide because we love you for it, and that's how we can expand and get out there to do bigger and better things and expose the bullshit and corruption that we just stumble into on a weekly basis. So, again, make sure you check us out all over social media. You can find us at our handle at Break the Bell Pod. Otherwise, we got the morning show, the 2-Scoop show with me and my brother tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tuesdays and Thursdays we do that show. Come join the fun. It's a short form, 20, 30-minute show where we just shoot the shit for a little bit. We got the weekend wrap-up, which is where we inevitably wrap up the week on the weekends. And then otherwise, be back here next week, same time, same channel, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, every Monday night. Come hang out and have a blast with us, and we love you for it.
Absolutely.
Have a great rest of your week. We will talk to you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.